I was at the University of Florida going into my junior year. We were getting ready to play a rival. Some of my teammates putting eye blacks under their eyes, and so I started to think, they're like putting their mom's name or their area code, and what should I put? And I started to think, well, God bless, and I was like, I don't know. And then I thought of Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I was like, that's an awesome verse for a football player. That's what I'm going to go with. But I kept wearing it under my eyes the entire season, and we get to the SEC championship game against Alabama. This moment, I really felt like God was putting out of my heart to change the verse. I kind of stepped back for a second and realized that if we won, we'd be playing in the national championship. 6 weeks leading up to the national championship game, I was contemplating, really agonizing over what verse I was going to go with. But God kept bringing it to my heart and my head, John 3:16. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life. That's what we believe in as Christians. I decided that's the verse I'm going to go with. We were blessed to win the national championship, and 2 days after that game, I was sitting in Ballyhoo restaurant eating grouper with my mom, my dad, one of my aunts, and Coach Meyer. And Coach Meyer gets a call from our PR guy at Florida, and he's like, all right, bye. What was that all about? He said, Timmy, he just told me that during that game, 94 million people Googled John 3:16. What was really cool about that game is it was on January 8th of 2009. Well, exactly 3 years later, January 8th, 2012, exactly 3 years later to the day, we just happened to be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first round of the playoffs. I didn't think of John 3:16 one time, so I can't take credit for it. I had nothing to do with it. After the game, when we were done celebrating, I changed really quick, and I was going down the hall to do my press conference, to turn left and go into these curtains to talk to the media, and Patrick, our PR guy, steps in front of me. He says, Hemi, did you realize what happened? I could tell he was being serious, so I was like, Patrick, what's up, man? I mean, this is exactly 3 years from the time you put John 3:16 into your eyes. I was like, oh, really? That's awesome. That's really cool. He says, no, you don't realize. During the game, you threw for 316 yards. Your yards per rush were 3.16. Your yards per completion were 31.6. The time of possession was 31.06. And the ratings for the night were 31.6. And during the game, 90 million people Googled John 3:16, and it's the number one thing on all social media right now. But it's amazing how big the God is that we serve. He took something that I did 3.5 years ago to make a decision, put Philippians 4:13, and then change it for one game. But I thought, hey, this is really cool. We impacted some people, but it's done. But no, God has an awesome plan. He has an awesome plan, and you might not even see what he's doing. You might not even know how he's working. But the amazing thing is when we step out and we show a little courage, we step out and we show a little boldness, what God can do with it in our lives, through our lives. But he's a big God.